First of all, I would like to respect the teacher. My name is Radic. I am a student who study at University of Cambodia. Today, I'm really happy for to be here talking about my final presentation. That my final presentation, I pick up three Cambodian story to analyze this. They are Tum Teav story, Kolab Pailin story, and Sropoun story. Yeah, here we go. So this is the University of Cambodia, and our topic analyzes the story, three Cambodian story. Yeah, and let's continue. Content. For content, I have three sovereign content. Yeah, and one is summarizes, and two explored, and three setting, four characterization, and five complete of the story, and six moral of the story, and seven cultural points. So here my personality. My name is Radic. For my student ID 16, 16, 19, 12, and 56. I'm come from evening class, and for my major is English literature. So here one are plot of the Tum Teav. So the first we analyze is about the Tum Teav story first, and yeah, let's start together. And they are two monks, Tum, a talented novel monk with his friend, but in the winter they are going to relax at Sropoun to sell the bamboo right container for his pagoda. The sound for people in the village, all people in the village are love and light to them. And Pan is three invite him to sing for their home. Don't come to sing and their hearts. Don't and their fall in love at the first sight. Don't accept the offer with delight to see that she feels the same as he does. Don't decide to live in order to meet them. A bird said, if Tom live, he will die in the jungle. The vegetarian secret the heart of Jill, although she is in the self traditional role of Jewish, where young lady are the secluded at their home. The drum representation for his role as the singer reached the King Remy, and he is invited to the royal palace to perform. The king is so immersed with his story that named him the royal singer. Their mother is informed about the love of Dale and Fortune, shows she hurried to arrange an early reading with Nguyen, the son of the Provincial governor, who is the handsome but arrogant young man. Immediately, Tom sings obediently in front of the crying Dale and the king noticed that the situation that Dale is loved from. Back to the village, Han feels miserable and then she greets a plan to lure Jill out of the palace. And at her return to the village to celebrate the reading with Nguyen, Jill got a message at the palace that she must return immediately her mother home because Pan is sick. The news of the first reading reached the palace and Fred gave the message to John, and then he is going to sing for the king. Don't bring the message alone and run to the wedding. But instead of the presenting, the indic drink and become strong. Dancing in party for dear and kissing her in the public. Governor Plum course in his cheese, John died in field under the banyan tree. And then she embraced Tom and removes the quad and commit suicide with it. And no suicide followed her too. When Remy hears of the murder, she descends upon Ocean's palace in Norada. Governor pleaded for mercy and other Ocean entire family, including several generations worth of relatives such as Orchard, Nguyen, Han, and all whether be taken to a file and burned to their neck and all like upper in front to the same happy star. Yeah, and it is the earth upload. So let's continue to the three setting. Um, setting up term. The story takes place a long time ago during the 1915 in the winter and in the fury. For setting up place, Bapnum Preven Province is the Dom village, and Bongkmur and is the Deer village and also Pan and Royal Palace. It a place for kin and timber and dew horse or June horse variants 3. It a place that dew and Dom and new die feel at the charcoal. And left here for number 4 character recession. Main character in the story in the Tum Teav story, the main character there are two main character. At first it's Tum and Teav. Tum is the black monk, and because as a monk who believe in buried, he should not love with the lady who dear because it's wrong with the buried religious. And he didn't listen around from the above and talking like to a bot. She is a bad person, and she is a Han doctor. She did not listen around from her mother, especially she slept with the man before reading. A beautiful lady. She should not love with the mom, and she should not have a relationship with the mom and until marry each other. And for the minor character, Pan is the black version, and she is the dear mother because she is the selfish lady. She never care about the dear feelings. She just think alone and try to do something alone without us deal. And she never asked the doctor with agree or disagree for a decision. And she hold an old report that said the cat is never bigger than the bracket. And Orchun is a black person, and he is a governor of the Bochum village because he forced Theo to marry with his son in Moon that she does not love with him a little bit, and he used the power of the governor to manage our village. Moon. Moon is the black person, and he is the Orchun's son because he forced Theo to marry with him as he know that Theo married with Dom already, and he was a Rojan and used the father's power to manage the people in the village. And but is the good person, um, and he is the Theo friend, and because he was a good friend, and he always helped Dom and protect Dom from enemy. Nu is a good is a good person because she was a good waitress. She always helped them and support our their Asian, and she can die for her bush. Rimi is the bad version, and he is a king of he is a king of the country, and because he used the power to check the villager how in stock and sold into salary, in fact they were guilty of disobeying the edict. And number 4 is complaint of the Tum Teav. So deal with Pan. So deal with Pan because Pan is forced still to marry with or married with Moon. So Dev is refusing and she didn't want to marry with the Moon. And Tom with Pan and Tom with Moon and Tom with Orchard and Pan with Moon and Tom with Orchard, like with Orchard, Tom with a bird, Remia with Orchard, Remia with Moon, and Remia with Pan. Yeah, and let's continue to the number 6 moral of the Tum Teav. Moral. As monk, we should not learn with girl. That in the story and talking about the Tum, he was the monk, and she fell in love with the deal that she is a beautiful girl in the Kabong village. So it is not right, and it is the wrong way that the monk have the love with the girl. Yeah, and as a lady, we should not learn with monk. Yeah, and in the story, Jerry fell in love with the Trump in the first sign, and she is a lady, and she and the turn she in the traditional or ceremony that the lady have to in the house observe it. But for dear, she never care about the traditional. She have a relationship with them on those days. As a lady, you should provide well on yourself. And before lady starts sleep with men, we must marry first. Yeah, in the story and show us about that in the Tum Teav, um, Dev and Tum have sleep with each other and the first of the married of them. So it is not right and this is not good for the people and yeah for the people. And do not force doctor to do anything that she does not want to do. And in the story, Pan is always forced and always persuade Theo to marry with another man that she doesn't like or she doesn't love about those men. So in the story talking about the Pan, it is the not good person. She also forced her doctor to do anything that her doctor doesn't want to do. And before parent let the doctor to marry with another man, we should ask her first. Yeah, and it talking about that before we let her doctor to marry with another man, we should ask the doctor that she's agree or disagree about those men because being a couple is really important and really necessary for all the people. We should not do like Han. As a parent, we should not use the power to manipulate the doctor and educate to all people to have honest reality love with each other. The mating to get freedom in choosing the partner. Educate to all parents must respect and grow to their doctor freedom, but do not degrade. Greedy. You know that in the story, Pan is so degree. She is a degree lady. She just want to get about the money, about the royalty, about honor. She never care about her doctor feeling. So finally, she just got about the bad result that Theo is dying, and she have her he have a charge to kill him. Yeah. And so number seven, talking about the a cultural point. Yeah, and they are parent are the management who choose the partner for their daughter. Yeah, in the story, parent is really important human to choose the partner for daughter, and the doctor or son never have the freedom to choose own a partner. It depends on her parent or his parent and to hold the old proverb that said the cat is never bigger than brass cat, and hard to manage the strict law in that generation. The power is inflicted to all peoples. Yeah, and this is the finish of the Tum story. So let's move to the two of Lord of the Pailin story. And let's have it go. There was an old man named Jerem who lived in the Brandenburg. Another were a nurse returned province of Cambodia. He told his son that he must be strong, resistant, and old, successful, according to Lord Body's teaching. At the head of the Najid heart means one must relate or one own oneself. After his father died, Dr. Drawer to work at Pailin because of the having from doctors Lauren Nelson but look Dr. over and Christian the latter ability to endure a hardship from work into a Ganstone field. Dr. worked very hard and gained an attention of his other fellow miner. Connery continued to notice Dr.'s strength character. Judge a feeling for culinary, but he tried very hard to resist the feeling because he knew deep in his heart that it would be impossible to get a culinary intention. One morning, Lung recognized but and culinary prepared a trip to the mid uh, Sanke district executor Lok Balat and the city of Brandenburg. Charger turned to the car in the parking lot. Look, Balak, while Lord Sambat and Connery ran through the Lord Sambat office. With the latter to first approaching, they hastily departed the city to the return home. When they continued trip to Pailin, the car was broken. It was middle of the first. After dinner, Kunri got the pistol for Luke Balat and handed over to Charter, asking him to guard to reveal his left. Charter asked if Kunri could stay with him later longer before she went to rest. While sitting, there are robbers appearing and attempting to drop down. Charter fights with the robbers and protects his Bruce and Connery. His courage made Connery start discriminating him and start luring him. One day while Lung and Samrat working in the office with Connery, they got an unexpected visit from Lobalat and another man, Luke Han. Balat tried to rape her, but just harmed and helped her. Her fight with Balat and share her successfully. Mr. Lung Lieutenant Samrat is furious and warned them to be never there again and let them go. However, later at night, the two return with their men and attempt to the rope Lung Lieutenant Samrat home. Alone recharged and soon they found by a bag the robber and defend them. The next day, Lung Lieutenant Samrat asked Sergeant what would be the one reason that he could like to receive for all the trouble he had gone so the different his family and business. He pointed his finger to Connery and said that he was the only brain in charge, wanted to help. He married his daughter to Sergeant and they all lived happily ever after. Yeah, and this is the earth of the floor. So I continue to the setting of Kolab Island. Sitting up place. Battambong, no western province of Cambodia, Pailin, and the forest of fish, Monkey Place, Ganstone, and Sankey district. Setting up charm. One day in the middle of field, every charm, one the same night, one morning at the afternoon at the moment, later in the afternoon, with the late afternoon, after dinner, while chatting, while later at the night, the next day. And characterization. For main character in the story, there are two main characters. The first is Charlotte is a good person because he was a good son. His relation, his father and wife, he was a good employer, honestly, hardworking, and he protected rural and Sambat and country for robbery, attack, and he was killing the bad person like Lupalat and Han who tried robbing Lord Sambat. And Connery. Connery is a good person, and she is a Lord Sambat doctor. Because she was a good doctor, she also relation her father as wife. She also helped his father to do business, and she loved charity without discrimination him. She was a kind person. And minor character. That term. That term is the Jajat father, and he is a good person because he was a good father. Uh, he always provide a good advice to his son and educate his son to be honest, honestly, hardworking, strong, persistent, and self-reliant according to Lord but is sticking at the head at the now that hard is mean one must rely on oneself. Especially he educates charged, he have good thing and in the right way. Doctors is a good person because she took care of the child and helped to have a good job. He was the generous person and introduced to Luang Ratanasambat by wrote lecture to him. Luang Ratanasambat is a good person because he was a good brother. He always take care of his doctor and he helped Charger to have a job and he does not discriminate the Charger and the net married Charger with his only daughter, provide Charger to the net his business is taken. Lobalat is the bad person because he was the chief. He tried to rob Lauren Rasenbat and grab Kunri. Lopan is the bad person because he was a chef. He helped Lopalat to plan to rob the Lungranasambat. Station is a good person because he helped Jarjat to kill the robbery and protect his bird from bad person, and he helped and loved to Jarjat. Yeah, and here is the conflict of the Kolab Island. They are charged with culinary and charged with Lungranasambat, charged with Lopalat, charged with robbery, culinary with Lobalat, culinary with Lopan, culinary with robbery, Long Ratana Sambat with Lobalat, Long Ratana Sambat with Lopan, Long Ratana Sambat with robbery. Dashan with Lobalat, Dashan with Lopan, and Lobalat with robbery. It is the moral of the Kolab Island. And here we go. We must confident on yourself. And we must believe on yourself. We must persistent and honestly. And in the story, Charles is the persistent and honest person. Um, finally, he become a person who have a lot of variety and can marry with the culinary because of his honest and persistent. We must try to study hard. As in the story, um in the story that's a really hard person to study hard even he doesn't have a father, but he never give up and he always want to try to study hard and want to work hard and honestly forever. And we must learn cultivation. We must have reality with people around us. The real love is not talking about the social status. Do not separate on yourself. We must thankful to people who will help you. We must responsibility to your work. And here the cultural point. So cultural point is they are living in the various religions. As in the story, before the Charan died, he told to charge to believe in the Buddhist teaching that said at the head of the Najitar, it means one must rely on oneself. And self rely according to Lord Palit teaching at the head of the Najitar, it means one must rely on oneself. When the Charan died, he told his sentence to judge that the child that should not give up on his life, do not pick up even though he lived alone. Yeah. So here the finish of the Kolab story. So here we go to the number 3, plot of Sropoun. So here we go to the plot. Bunchon and Ridley have been arranged to marry since they were young. One day, Bunchon went to study continue at Phnom Penh. Unfortunately, Bunchon's family became poor after a storm since the boat that his father used to transport the rice in Prehnoko. Mrs. Nguyen, mother of Victory, stopped the engagement between Bunchon and her daughter. Mrs. Nguyen again Victory instead to Nigel, who is the rich man. After becoming again to Nigel, Victory ill and paying for a bunch. Her healthy worsened and become sorry thereby. Seeing this situation, Mrs. Nguyen bring her daughter to the resort town of Siem but Victory spirit remained lower because she missed her Bunchon who her sweetheart so much. Victory became caught of blood. Her mother being suspicious brings her to the fortune teller and just various measures to try to cure her. However, it does not work. Her illness remains serious. After Bunton discovered Victory will marry someone else, he becomes sad and cried alone. And then when Mrs. Nguyen knew that the reason why Victory becomes sick because she misses and love Bunton, so she decided and now about the doctor married soon. Victory increasingly break a weak and serious. Victory died. Finally, before Victory died, she wrote her letter for Bunchen that said that she's trial Bunchen to study continue at Phnom Penh. Cheer he graduated at and tell him to find a good lady to marry and give the ring that she remained for him to a new girlfriend. Yeah. So let's start to setting up the Sropoun. Setting up place. Phnom Penh, Pailin, Siem Reap, the forest, Victory House and Bunchen House. Setting up time. One day, later that time, day by day, to read. Characteristic and main character. Um, So main character, there are two main character in the story. They are Bunchon is good person because he was the good son honestly and he always hard he found work and try to study hard. And you know that he is the victory sweetheart, yeah. And the next victory is the Bunchon sweetheart. She is the good person because she was a good doctor. She always followed her mother advice and she never forgot from Bunchon who her sweetheart. Yeah, she never you know that she never forget about the miss of promise with Bunchon that her sweetheart. At the minor character, Missing Moon is the black person and she is the she is the witchery mother because she prefer money over honor and honestly. She dropped her doctor engagement with Winteran without telling him and his father. She forced her doctor to marry with another guy who she does not interest and love him. Mrs. Chan is the bad person because she persuaded Mrs. Moon to drop the ritual and engagement with Bunchun and introduce Nation to Mrs. Moon. Nation is the bad person because he is the bad temper and immoral. He uses his money to do anything that he wants. He forced Victoria to marry with him. That is first. He knew about the Victoria relationship with Bunchun already. Linton's father is a good person because he was a good father, honestly and reality. The show is the good person because he was a good waiter and he also helped Linton to reduce his stress and learning from Italy. So a complex of Sropoun. There are Linton with the missing one, Linton with Nation, Linton with Mrs. Chan, Bunsen with Bunsen father with missing Moon, Bunsen father with Mrs. Chan, Bunsen father with Storm, Witchery with Nation. And moral of the Sropoun. Choosing the partner is the right for all children. Our parents are the main children for successful choose partner. Despite the honestly and loyalty is the main thing that all people should be followed. We must try to study hard because the knowledge is very important for all people. The knowledge is part that cannot cut off. Do not be greedy. In this point, I want to clarify a little bit. In the Kasabun story, Mrs. Singun is really greedy lady because she never care about her doctor feeling. She just want to get the money, just want to get the honor, and she never care about another person that they have a relationship with before. Yeah, and so she is not good lady. We should prefer honor and honestly over money. Do not use power of parent to force doctor to do it, something that she does not satisfy. Before deciding to choose partner for your doctor, should be ask your doctor first. In the story, Missing Moon never she never asks about the doctor feeling. She just decide by your own self and she never care about her doctor feeling. Do not hold social status. We must responsibility on ourselves. And number seven here is the cultural point. And when they are people sick, they believe in fortune teller and use various measures to try to cure. As in the story, when Victory else, a mother gave her to fortune teller and used various measures to try to cure. Believe in the body religious. When Victory sick, her mother take her to the hospital because she believed that the doctor will better. So finally, I would like to thank you, teacher, for your pay attention to my presentation. Yes, thank you. Goodbye, teacher.